So let's get into it because it pertains to every one of us. So Steve Hasser writes, O'Reilly, you're making excuses. You're saying that our election system can be blackmailed by threats of violence from the left. Why do you think we 74 million will find that acceptable? I'm not finding anything acceptable, and I'm not saying anything. I'm reporting, Steve. I'm reporting. All right? As I told you Monday, it's my job to tell you the truth. And I have. So what Steve is referring to, as I said, in order for the election to be stayed or overturned by the Supreme Court, you would have to have a very compelling amount of evidence that is visible to everyone. Can't be a theory, can't be an opinion, can't be something like some observers were denied in Philadelphia. It's got to rise to a very high level. Why? Because the Supreme Court justices are human beings. And they know if they stay the election, if they turn it around and President Trump turns out to be the winner, there'll be violence in this country, violence on the streets. That will happen. And the Supreme Court justices know it. Therefore, to make that kind of a judgment, you would have to have incontrovertible proof that every American could see. I discussed this today with Sean Hannity, who was running down the litany of fraud accusations, many of which are true. I don't believe there was an honest count done in Philadelphia or Detroit or Milwaukee or Clark County, Las Vegas. I don't believe there was an honest count done. I don't believe there was an honest count done in Fulton County. That's Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? I could be wrong, but the evidence says there were illegalities, irregularities that took place. But do they rise to the level of overturning an election? That's what the Supreme Court, the only body, the only one who could stop this train, and the train has to be stopped by December 7th when the votes are certified. So getting back to Steve, Steve is mad at me for reporting that. He thinks I'm advocating for the Supreme Court justices. He thinks that I'm condoning if they voted against staying the election. And I'm not. I'm not doing any of that. I'm bringing you information that's real. Think back. How many people told you there was going to be a Trump landslide? Think about it. When you're listening to the radio or watching television, how many people came on and told you, Trump's going to win, he's going to win big? All right? I didn't say that. I reported it was going to be very close. I also reported whoever wins Pennsylvania becomes the next president. Both of those things happened. All right? I went against many on the right who were convinced there would be a landslide for Donald Trump. Now, we're in a position where most Republicans, and I'll give you the numbers in a moment, believe that the election was fixed for the Democrats in key places. I'm not trying to dissuade you from that. As I just said, I believe it was fixed. If I were on the Supreme Court, would I vote to stay the election? I'd have to see the evidence in Pennsylvania. How many votes are involved that came in after Election Day? What the final tally was? I'd have to evaluate all that. I can tell you with certainty there are 4 Supreme Court justices right now, without seeing any evidence, who would vote against overturning the election or stopping the election. 4, Roberts, would not vote under any circumstances to overturn this election, and the 3 liberal justices. So there you have 4 already that no matter what happens, aren't going to do it for whatever reasons, and that's on them. So then you have 5 who may consider stopping the election. But if 1 out of that 5 says no, Biden's president. So I'm giving you the odds. Let's get specific. Georgia recount. It ends tonight at midnight. All right? So far, Donald Trump has picked up, as far as we know, 1,227 votes that were uncounted in the first go-around. There's a 12,500 vote difference in favor of Biden. By midnight tonight, are we going to see 12,500 votes go to Trump? And the answer is no. That's not going to happen. It's too many. Now, Georgia's run by a Republican governor, Kemp. Was there fraud? Yeah. Atlanta is Atlanta. Okay? It's not a reliable precinct. But is it going to be overturned? No. So the 16 electoral votes that Joe Biden got in Georgia will stay in his camp. Okay, let's go to Pennsylvania. Yesterday, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania threw out the observers were kept too far away lawsuit. They threw it out. Okay? 5-2. That's the system. The quote was, the majority opinion from the court affirms that campaign observers had been given adequate access to counting areas throughout the election. Is that true? I don't think so, but that's my opinion. All right, so the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said, not going to do anything about it. Now, can you appeal to the federal level? Sure, you can. But the one thing that does remain pending in Pennsylvania is how many votes, mail-in votes that came in after Election Day should be counted. The law says none, I believe. And that's the one that could wind up in the Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court. So I don't believe Pennsylvania judges are going to say, oh, our state screwed up. I don't believe any state judges are going to do that. So you got to go to the feds. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. As you all know, the dollar is at a 10-year low, and November could spell real trouble. That's why I recommend you consider physical gold and silver, and the only company I do business with in this area is American Hartford Gold. You can call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you a free gold coin on your first qualified order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold's up over 40%, silver over 60%. So please don't wait. Call them now. 877-444-GOLD Gold. 877-444-GOLD Gold, or text GOLD to 65532.